Hortatory Exposition. I know, right? It sounds exactly like a Harry Potter spell, but it's actually this incredibly precise textual framework used to persuade people to take action. So let's just dive right into this explainer. We've got exactly 3 minutes to unpack the absolute anatomy of persuasion. Let's go. Now, think about the last time you read a brilliant op-ed that actually legitimately changed your mind, or maybe a corporate memo that somehow mobilized an entire company overnight. How exactly did they structure that argument? Well, it turns out there's a specific, heavily researched formula for this exact type of communication. And that magic formula? It's called hortatory exposition. Drawn straight from the academic literature on text types, it's defined basically as a text intended to explain to listeners or readers that something absolutely should or should not happen or be done. So the key takeaway here is that a hortatory exposition isn't just about sharing information. It's not about just sounding smart. It is a highly specialized text with one pure, singular purpose: to persuade the reader to actually get up and do something. To really wrap our heads around this, it helps to compare it to its close cousin, which is analytical exposition. An analytical text just explains the how and the why of a topic, and then it basically just reiterates its main point at the end. But a hortatory text, it goes a massive step further. It actually demands a concrete recommendation for action. It's not just about understanding a concept, it is entirely about implementation. Okay, so let's look at the actual blueprint. According to the source material, there is a very strict three-part framework to building one of these texts. First up, you have your thesis. This is just your clear, upfront announcement of the issue at hand. Second, your arguments. These are the rock-solid reasons that logically build up your case. And finally, the knockout punch, your recommendation. This is that definitive, final statement of what absolutely must or must not happen. But here's the thing, structure alone just isn't enough. You need the right words to make it stick. You're essentially weaponizing your grammar here. Our sources highlight this very specific language toolkit you need to use. We're talking action verbs, modals, and adverbs, usually in the simple present or present perfect tense. And you're going to lean really heavily on evaluative and emotive words, alongside mental processes to clearly project exactly what you, the writer, think or feel. It's all about injecting that persuasive energy straight into the reader's brain. The academic literature really hits the nail on the head with this core idea. A hortatory exposition exists to persuade that something should or should not be the case. That's it. The entire architectural design of this text, from that strict three-part structure we talked about right down to the highly emotive language toolkit, literally the whole shebang exists solely to convince an audience to move. So, as we wrap up this quick 3-minute explainer, I want to leave you with a challenge. What will you persuade the world to do next? I mean, you now have the exact blueprint. You've got the thesis, the arguments, the recommendation, and you have that emotive language toolkit ready to go. So take this out into the real world and start persuading.